Dude, it's all about the friction. The friction's killing them. So if they don't get that out of the way, it's not going to work. So look at all this stuff, man. This is our studio, and clients come to our agency because they want their ads to work better. So most people that come work with us, they're already really big, very successful companies. They're usually spending a lot on advertising. Typically, a couple things are happening. Number one, everything's going great. They want it to go better. And then we get called in when the stuff that's been working forever stops working. Typically, it's pretty easy to cure. So here's the way most people advertise online. They say, I want to get a lead, and then I want to have them on my email list or something so I can give them information about my stuff. They'll feel like they know, like, and trust me, and then they'll ultimately make a buying decision. And if you think about like what's that like model, right? So let's say someone's buying an ad, they're driving someone to an opt-in page or a registration page, or they have like a front-end offer or whatever, and they're doing all of that in hopes that they can get a name or an email address or whatever, so they can start building a relationship with the customer, so they can ultimately sell the customer something that's like really going to be profitable to them. So if we think about that, it's easy to conclude that the real point of sale, the real driver of all that stuff, is when the relationship is built, right? So in a typical, campaign, if you generate an email address and then you send them a bunch of content, it is them consuming that content and forming that relationship with your company that actually sets you up to sell the real thing. The thing that's killing big campaigns is the friction, all right? So here's what I mean. Why would we want to take somebody and put a big barrier in front of them if we want them to view content from us that's going to like cause a good relationship to be built? It doesn't make logical sense. Let's spend all this money and drive someone to a web page that they're going to have to enter their email address on, and they get like added to another email address. So they're, instead of getting 1 million emails today, they're going to get 1,000,001 emails, and then hope that they're going to actually read that email and then go look at our stuff, and then the bond is going to be created. Doesn't it make a lot more sense just to put the content right in front of them? Well, it does make a lot more sense, and it is doable, and it just works better, and I'll tell you how to do it. So the play is something that's called intent-based branding, right? And so here's the big picture on it. We know, like, if we can agree that really the money is in building that relationship with your marketplace. And essentially that relationship with your marketplace is the brand, right? That's where your brand value is. Then we can also agree that it doesn't make any sense in the world to put any type of friction that's going to make it hard for your prospect to establish that relationship. So in the intent-based branding approach, what you do is this. You ask yourself, number one, who's the perfect person for me, right? Like, who is your ideal customer that you want? And then you ask yourself, what do they want? What are they frustrated with within the context of what it is you have to offer? And what are the emotions that they're experiencing with that frustration? Once you know that, then you come up with some simple advice on how to help them, and you create video content that basically says, hey, if you're this perfect person and you want this thing and you're experiencing these frustrations, then try this. And instead of putting like an opt-in page or something in front of that very content that's actually the stuff that's going to build the relationship that makes the sale, instead you put it right there on social media as a paid ad, and here's what happens when you do. First, you're building a bond with significantly more people in your marketplace. The reason why is because these types of ads way cheaper than trying to send somebody to an opt-in page friction, to try to get them to give you your email address, which only 20 or 30% of them do or whatever, to maybe go check the email and go watch your video. So you're going to get your stuff in front of significantly more people, which of course elevates your brand awareness by actually building that bond with the very people who you want to sell things to. So that's thing number one, but it gets 1,000 times cooler, all right? Thing number two is that when you run these on social media, whether that's Facebook or YouTube, for example, you will be able to know two things. Number one, you'll be able to know if your overall marketing message is right because you can see how much it costs you to get someone to watch all of the content. If it doesn't cost a lot, that means it's resonating with your marketplace. Math will prove to you exactly what you should be saying in your ads. Thing number two is you'll now have a database of people called a retargeting audience that you can then show offers to that are more likely to want to buy from you. Why? Because they've already seen the content and you've already built that relationship, and you did it with no friction whatsoever. So the sales cycle used to be see an ad, maybe click on it, go to a web page, maybe register to get a white paper or whatever, then maybe read the white paper, maybe read the 1,000,000 emails you had to send them to get them to take some action, then maybe they would buy something that would take forever. Now the sales cycle looks like this. They see a good piece of content from you, they watch it. They see another good piece of content from you, they watch it. You make an offer to them, now they become a customer. You've compressed your sales cycle, you've done it for a lot less money, and you've generated a tremendous amount of goodwill and brand awareness during the process. My name is Frank Kern with KernBranding.com. Hope you found this helpful. If you did and you know somebody who might benefit from it, please feel free to share. Thanks so much for watching and take it easy.